I just got my second booster for COVID-19. I feel like I'm really making a difference in the pandemic and protecting myself.
That's cool. I'm still not vaccinated against COVID. I'm just scared of any bad side effects or negative outcomes. I'm still not too sure how vaccines even work.
Allie, there's really nothing to be afraid of when it comes to vaccines. Let me show you how they work. As you know, we have an immune system that protects us from pathogens like the coronavirus. When a pathogen is recognized as foreign, chemicals called cytokines are released.
What's a cytokine?
A cytokine is a chemical messenger that basically signals the immune system to do its job. Cytokines affect the growth of all blood cells and other cells that help the body's immune system and inflammation responses.
Oh, okay.
The immune system does this with two branches called the innate immune system and the adaptive immune system. The innate immune system is what we were born with. It depends on its physical and chemical barriers that work to keep pathogens from entering the body. This is known as the first line of defense. The second line of defense has chemical signals that produce inflammation and fever, as well as mobilizing chemical defense and protective cells. These processes are done with innate immune cells, which are white blood cells that mediate the system. This includes basophils, dendritic cells, mast cells, monocytes, and macrophages, neutrophils, and NK cells. The other part of the immune system is the adaptive immune system. This immune system is more adaptive to the specific pathogen that has entered the body. This immunity occurs after being exposed to the antigen from either a pathogen or a vaccine.
Wait, what's an antigen?
Great question, Ellie. I was starting to get ahead of myself. An antigen is a molecule that stimulates a response in the immune system. So if the innate immune system is not able to do its job on its own, it will activate this part of the immune system.
Oh, so like when I can't clean the kitchen on my own, I have to activate a friend.
Sure. Anyway, there are two types of the adaptive immune system: the cell-mediated immune response controlled by activated T cells, and the humoral immune response controlled by activated B cells and antibodies. T and B cells will increase in numbers to attack the evading pathogen. This will either attack by killing the pathogen directly or secrete antibodies that enhance the phagocytosis of pathogens to disrupt the infection.
Well, I guess it's cool knowing how our immune system works, but what does that have to do with the vaccine?
Adaptive immunity also has a memory that gives the host protection long term, and in the case of re-exposure, this memory will cause a rapid response to disrupt the pathogen. Do you remember how adaptive immunity occurs?
Didn't you say after being exposed to the antigen from either a pathogen or a vaccine?
Yes. So if your body's exposed to the antigen from a vaccine, such as the COVID vaccine, it will remember the pathogen, so in the case of re-exposure, it will have a rapid response.
But is there a difference in immunity from the actual virus versus the vaccine for the virus?
These two types of immunity are called natural acquired immunity and artificial immunity. Natural immunity happens when you're exposed to the virus. Artificial immunity from the vaccine happens when the body is introduced to a weakened or killed form of the virus. While they come in different ways, both forms of this immunity will give the host long-lasting protection, as the immune system will recognize it and produce the antibodies to fight it.
Okay, that makes sense, but if the vaccine will protect us against the virus, why do some people get sick after receiving the vaccine? I do not want that to happen to me.
Most coronavirus vaccines use viral proteins found in the spike proteins of the virus. Receiving this vaccine will trigger an immune response like what we talked about earlier. The innate immune system will respond by initiating inflammation.
Inflammation?
Yes, inflammation. Proper inflammatory responses provide protection against infections and create long-term adaptive immunity towards specific pathogens. Signs of inflammation are fever and pain, so the innate immune response is causing these side effects. It just means your immune system is working.
But why would I put myself through that if I may not even come in contact with the virus?
While we do not know for sure if you will come in contact with the COVID-19 virus, it is highly likely that you will. And if you can't handle the vaccine side effect, how do you think you're going to handle the actual virus? Besides, getting a vaccine is not only for your protection.
Well, how does me getting the vaccine protect other people?
Once enough people are vaccinated, we enter something called herd immunity. This means that enough people are vaccinated that the virus will not have enough eligible hosts to live on and spread to. it will eventually die off without having to vaccinate everyone.
Well, perfect. I'll just be one of the people that aren't vaccinated.
It is very important that if you are able to get the vaccine, you do get it, because some people aren't eligible to get it, such as babies, people with specific allergies, the elderly, and people with compromised immune systems. So if you are able to get the vaccine, you should do your part in protecting yourself and protecting the people who aren't able to get it.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced.
Well, let me show you some studies I have found. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has a page explaining vaccine safety. They say every authorized or approved vaccine goes through safety testing, including testing and evaluation of the vaccine before it's licensed by the FDA and recommended by the CDC. Monitoring the vaccine's safety after it's recommended for infants, children, or adults. Vaccines are tested in clinical trials of usually thousands of people, as well as additional testing for quality and safety, so they would not give it to the public if the vaccine was not safe. Here's another study I found. In 1980, the smallpox virus was eradicated due to vaccines. According to the CDC, the smallpox vaccine was 95% effective, and with enough vaccinations, the virus was eventually eradicated, as no cases of naturally occurring smallpox have happened since. The World Health Organization has listed vaccine hesitancy as one of the 10 threats to global health in 2019, saying it threatens to reverse progress made in tackling vaccine-preventable diseases. Vaccination is one of the most cost-effective ways of avoiding disease. It currently prevents 2 to 3 million deaths per year, and a further 1.5 million could be avoided if global coverage of vaccinations was improved.
Okay, fine. I'll go get it, but could you make my appointment for me?